welcome back. We're now going to show my interview with Anjanae. We did this maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago at her campus. I'm super excited to finally be broadcasting it live. I hope she has an opportunity to be tuning in from her smartphone. Check it out. Hi, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
So I want to talk to you a bit about your involvement in Up to Good and your film. Can you tell me a bit about how you learned about the Up to Good Impact Film Fest?
Yeah, well, so I've been doing a bunch of film festivals prior and winning a bunch of film festivals prior to, and I haven't really heard about it. And so my professors, I had a few professors email me the link and say, hey, this festival, they're having a festival and you should enter, because they knew what I did, and I'm a film media and social justice major, so they thought it fit perfectly, film mixed with social issues. And so I found out from professors and I decided, okay, I'm going to enter, and that's how that happened.
Awesome. And tell me a bit about your submission.
So my film is called My Mental Trip, and it was a ride. So I knew about the festival and I knew I wanted to enter the festival, but I didn't know that this was going to be the film that was going to be in it. So one night I was going through a lot of anxiety, a lot of panic attacks, and afterwards, I'm trying to calm down and I'm scrolling through my emails and I go, oh yeah, Up to Good. And I think, what would I submit if I was going to make a film for Up to Good? And I knew it would be about mental health, but I also had this strong sense for homelessness. You're in LA, you see a bunch of people on the street, and that I really wanted to do that. So I thought I'd combine them both. And I didn't know how, but in my head, instantly I said, I'm going to spend the night in downtown LA by myself and try to externalize my anxiety. And I did it. And originally I said, okay, I'm going to do it tomorrow night, and I'm going to wait it out. But I knew I'd talk myself out of it, and I knew it just wouldn't be as authentic. So that exact night, I charged all my cameras and I headed downtown with no money, no food, no water. I didn't tell anybody, no Wi-Fi, nothing. And that's what I did.
What would your parents have said had they known that you did this?
Yeah, my mom would be so...
Or what did she say when she found out that you did
When she found out, she was like, oh wow, this is great. She loved the film. But I still don't know if she knows it was real. That's my thing. And I 100% say yes. I even brought the one necklace or bracelet I got from the dude during the film. It was real, 100%. And yeah, my mom, she's something. But I didn't tell anyone. I told no one because I didn't want anyone to talk me out of it. Super risky. Don't try this at home. This is not... I don't recommend...
Well, I guess it wouldn't be tried at home.
Yeah. Very true. I don't recommend anyone to go out.
How did this experience... how did you feel during this experience in terms of your own anxiety?
Oh my goodness. So at first, I actually broke the film down in acronyms, starting with More Than a Walk, where I kind of felt motivated but very, very scared. And then it went into ethereal, and ethereal I felt as if I accomplished something and I felt proud, but I also didn't really feel a part of this world, kind of like heavenly, and
So you still felt like somewhat omniscient, like you were looking down, not looking down, but looking out onto.
Yeah. So throughout the whole thing, I go through these different emotions, and exactly how I say I'm feeling in the film is how I feel at that moment. And so a lot of fear, which turned into curiosity and wonder, and and towards the end it just turned into like I was thrilled, I was happy, I was excited, I got through it. And for that moment, temporarily, I felt better, so much better. So
why do you think that is?
Well, the slogan of the film was that I wanted to externalize my anxiety, so that it was a physical thing and that I could conquer it. And I made it a physical thing and I conquered it. And I think that's why I felt so great.
Did the film and the process make you feel somewhat closer to what many homeless people, what you imagine many homeless people to go through every day?
Yeah, so I always say I can't ever, compare myself to a homeless person, but I looked at this process as of, I went through a mental trip, 100%. Imagine what these homeless people are going through and they can't leave. I had the opportunity to walk out at any time, to go back home at any time, to do anything I wanted to. But if you look at these homeless people on the street, and people call them crazy, you're going, they're just crazy, don't bother them, they just want drugs, or they just want this. But then you don't realize that they're going through their own mental problems,
right? And
they can't escape, and sometimes they don't know how to find their mental trip, or they don't know how to handle it. And so I felt for homeless people, and I felt almost like I was grabbing at least half of their identity, to where I was by myself, I was alone, I had nobody. People looked at me, on the street, people passed by and just kind of gave me this look. And for me to go through so much emotionally and mentally, to have people look at you that way as if they don't understand, I felt like at one point I was taking on part of their identity.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that isolation that many homeless people feel, as people with just, different anxiety issues often feel. So did you find that to be a parallel to your own anxieties?
Yeah. I always say I get it. When they feel alone and like they can't escape, or when they feel like no one understands, at that moment I got it. But only to an extent, because at the end of the day, I could have went home, I could have stopped it, I could have done whatever. I went out of my way to hide my camera, my phone, anything electronic. And I did that for a reason. I didn't want them to look at me like, oh, she's just some girl making a film.
Right.
So a lot of the shots I got in the film, I was just lucky to get. I was hiding my camera really hard. It was just a really small HD camera.
I saw it peek out a few times.
Yeah, right out of like it's insane. But it was, I felt for them. I felt for them 100%. And I cried so much that night. I cried so much. When the guy gave me his crate, I'm sitting outside of this lounge club thing, and I'm sitting outside, and at the time I had my hand wrapped in the film, and that's because I recently had hand surgery. Nothing major, but I had hand surgery, and the doctor said don't go outside, don't do whatever. But I whatever. So but that wasn't like the biggest thing. I didn't think it mattered. So I had my hand wrapped, and I'm sitting on the ground. Granted, there's hundreds of people walking by, so it's not like I looked so different. I just was sitting outside.
Right.
And for some reason, dude walked up and gave me his crate. And for another reason, this guy, gave me his blanket and then gave me this. And he also gave me milk, but I'm vegan, I don't drink milk. So I just gave it to the next homeless person because he wouldn't let me give it back. He said, you need it. You need it. And I said, why did he say that? Why did he say that? And it's because of my hand. He saw my hand wrapped and he said, you need it. And so, yeah.
Wow, it's amazing. It's a real community.
It's real. And he said, hey little sister, which is very different, because most of the time people look at me, they look at my short hair. If you look at what I was wearing in the film, I look very masculine. You wouldn't know from a distance. Right. Oh, that's a girl, so, for him to say, hey little sister, and throw me this, and he also asked me, what happened to your hand? And I said, oh, it just got hurt.
Yeah. It's not like you could say, yeah, I had an extensive hand surgery.
I had an extensive hand surgery, it's crazy, but
well, I guess you could have, but that might have opened up too much of a can of worms.
Right, but it was real. It was so real, the community, and I didn't dive too deep in it. I kept walking. I didn't want to kind of stay in one spot,
Right. So you have a call to action for people at the end of your film, for them to find their own mental trip. And for those people, would you say that acronym would ring true for their own mental trip, irrespective of what their trip is?
Yeah. For me, what I would say, your mental trip is anything that makes you feel better or happy or make you feel like you accomplished something, even if it's just temporarily. So dealing with anxiety and panic attacks and all of that, it's not something that's here and then gone. You know, you can't, it's not a cure. You can't give a pill to fix anxiety and then it's gone. It's a trip. It's a process. And so it's a journey. You have to go through every single day and just pick something and get through it and accomplish it and go over those little humps, and you'll be okay. So your mental trip could be reading a book or listening to music or hanging with friends or even just getting through the day. Some people, you work a 9 to 5 and you wake up in the morning and you go to work and you come back, and sometimes getting through the day and getting home and laying down makes you feel better because you just got through it. Right. So your mental trip is really anything that makes you feel like you've accomplished something at that moment. That's it.
If someone were to come to you with recommendations on how they were to find their own mental trips, what would you do? What would you say?
Oh wow. Think about what makes you happy. Think about what makes you sad, and then think about what's more challenging for you. Now kind of mix them all and do it. For me, my mental trip is all about overcoming my challenges. That's what I do. For other people, they just want to relax. And for some people, going through emotions is their mental trip. So you ever heard of the thing, people listen to sad music to make themselves feel better even if they're sad?
Oh yeah.
That's
talking to an ex-goth.
Yeah. So it's that exactly. That exactly. So when I always say find a happy middle between happy, sad, and challenging, and then you're going to be okay. And the goal for this film and campaign is to hopefully have more screenings and Q&As and workshops in which I can help people really, find what makes them them. And that takes, that can take a long time. You don't always find your mental trip really fast. It's almost like asking someone, what's happiness to you? And some people will say a bunch of things, and some people don't know, and I'm just living. So yeah.
Everyone's experience is different, and I think that with your campaign, you really shed light on that. So what's next for you?
Oh my goodness.
Well, a million things.
I hope to be number one this film. It's not over. I don't want it to be, like I said, here and gone. This is something that I want to keep going. I really want to start an organization or foundation based on this called My Mental Trip, in order to help people overcome their anxiety and deal with it. There's this thing going around where people are making films and giving speeches about, there's the stigma with mental health and we need to stop, get people to get rid of this stigma. That's not my thing. My thing, we get it. There's a stigma. We all know that. We've been saying it for years, and people have been giving TED Talks for years about it. My thing is, let's help people deal with it, because you don't want someone to say you're sad. I know you're sad. People don't think you're sad, but you're sad. I know I'm gonna be sad. You say it 1,000 times, but I'm still sad. So my goal is to help people do that. To deal with that side of things. And so I'm excited.
You should be excited. Yeah. Thank you for doing your important work.
Yeah.
And I will certainly be helping you spread the word. And thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much.
Good luck to you.